their jet fuel. You know what I'm saying? Getting them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can't wait for jet fuel.
Me too, bro. Jet fuel would be nice.
It's on my vision wall flying private.
Yeah.
Bro, that's some
once.
different levels right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a vibe right there. Like, hey,
And welcome back to the Riley Black Project. Crystal and John.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going.
It's going. We're still playing. I apologize for last week. That 2-shot was a little fuzzy.
Yeah. When we got some comments on the audio.
In the audio, well, we had a lot of new things. We got new mics, new cameras, so we're still playing around with settings. Hopefully this week we look a little sharper on that one especially. Because that's the problem. And then we changed our individual angles, so...
I know this camera's real close to me now.
Yeah, but it looks good.
It doesn't look like it's as close as it feels.
For you, they see more of the desk.
Yeah.
And likewise for me. Not so much.
You gave me clearance that I could buy more stuff.
Well, because you can see a little more shelf space behind you there. Yeah. So that's what we got going on.
Well, and the course.
Well, but that's on the life update. I meant for like...
That's true.
Intro.
Yeah.
And this week's episode is brought to you by...
Katie, I can't look at that camera anymore.
Nope.
Katie with Monarch Pine. She gave everybody 10% off. So use code Riley Black for 10% off. monarchpine.etsy.com, I think.
Yep. .etsy.com.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. From what I remember when I read it for like
they'll figure it out. Monarch Pine on Etsy.
Yeah. She was on last week and
Yeah.
So today's episode is special.
It is.
Because it's not a laser owner.
Right.
But he is an entrepreneur. Your friend.
Yes.
And
from high school.
We're gonna be talking about some deep stuff.
Yeah.
On this episode. So
we don't know how deep it's gonna get, but just a warning.
But hunker down and maybe at the 45-minute mark if it's if it gets a little heavy, feel free to skip forward to life update.
Don't skip. Just listen when you can if you need to.
Yeah. Take breaks. Breaks. Well, welcome to the show. I'm going to introduce him right now. Even though he's your friend?
Yes, you.
Me? Okay. Dre Lane, welcome to the show.
Yo. Ooh, yeah. What's going down? How y'all doing, man? Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I forgot to say he's also a singer.
Yes, so there you go. So, Dre, I actually remember him most from high school and the talent shows, and of course, singing in the talent shows.
Yes.
So, how the heck did you transition from... what did you do outside of high school? I know you had mentioned that you've been an entrepreneur for 17 years. And so what point did that start up as well? So
straight out of high school, where me and Devon killed the talent show, and Mr. Steckline came down and hated on us, cut our music off because I guess there was some crotch grabbing. There was some crotch grabbing.
Some inappropriate.
This is R&B, so there's going to be some of that. Whatever you want to call it. And
what was the song that you did? Do you remember?
It was Let's Get Married by Jagged Edge.
It's a good thing it was Jagged Edge and not like an R. Kelly song because that would.
You know what I'm saying? That would have went. That would have, especially that wouldn't have aged well. That wouldn't have aged well at all.
No,
that would have been a little awkward, or even like some Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Like now I can't hear that every step I take. I can't hear that the same anymore. It's a shame. Like they're taking all the gems, all the good songs, all the songs I've done naughty things to. You know what I'm saying?
And the TV shows. We no more Cosby Show.
Can't watch man. The same. Man, there's no more Jello pudding, no more pudding pops. Like man, like why?
They had to go and ruin a good thing.
If you're going to be a freak, do it within the freak limits of being I don't know if there's limits to be a freak. I don't know if that even makes sense, but do it responsibly, okay? Can we be responsible freaks? Is that possible? It is possible, yeah, because I do that.
So the principal shut it down due to
shut it down.
Inappropriate.
Yeah, so we had to go a cappella because there was some inappropriate crotch grabbing. You know what I'm saying? I think Javon was pulling up his pants or something. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't looking at his crotch, so I couldn't tell. I was focused on my job, which was, I'm saying, wooing the ladies in the crowd. But but they cut the music. We had to go a cappella. We thought, what the hell? The music's off. Let's just keep going. We rehearsed enough, you know what I mean? So we didn't skip a beat. The crowd went crazy. They thought it was a part of the show. It was not. There was the complete shutdown. Came down, gave us a warning, literally, and because of that, we had to recenter, refocus, and he still put on a great performance and ended up winning the talent show. So that was pretty awesome. So after that, I pretty much stayed locked in on the music side of things. Skipped around between jobs and things like that. And I remember distinctly, Junior had to be my oldest, had to be probably about one and a half. And I was working this job called radon engineering. I was a radon mitigation tech. And if you know anything about radon mitigation, it involves sealing crawl spaces with this protective matting that you have to go into these crawl spaces that people haven't been in for like 20, 30 years, some 40 years. So you're opening up the latch. And as you open up the latch, you can just see everything scattered because like, oh my God, the light! And everything's scattering out of the way. And there's cobwebs everywhere. So I had to, do what I had to do to make money. It was a pretty good paying job too. Right. But obviously the owners of the company made the bulk of the money. But as a tech, I was pulling in bread, I was pulling in $1,500 to $2,500 a week, on part-time hours, depending on the job. But long story short, I got laid off from that job the same day. I had my first show as Dre Lane. And as people know me from high school, it's Mario Lane. My middle name is Andreas. So that's where the Dre came from. Of course, Lane. So it's not like a mystical name that I made, out of, thin air, it's a part of me. But the same day that I had my first show, at Club Sutra, I got laid off from that job. Wow. So I got laid off from that job, and hours later I had my first show, and my boy Devon, he came and performed a song with me that we have called Like I Do. And like you said, we went there, I shut that show down. And from there, it was pretty much, the rest was pretty much history from there. I've done a lot of interesting things. I've auditioned for American Idol a number of times, The Voice a couple of times, and those are tough shows to make it on because, they're real niche driven and you got to kind of fall into the pockets of what they're looking for or just kind of get lucky. It's a lottery really. But so I've made it, I made it into like a couple of rounds, like the second and third round. But after that, there's still, more rounds of external from the actual tryouts itself. So, but from there, like I said, I just kept continuing to record and create music. My first album I released was called 50 Shades of Dre. And then from there, a couple of years ago, I released my last album called Fossil. So I mean, during that time, I also, after being fired and having that first show, was pretty much the time where I started working with my my wife's dad. Yeah. My father-in-law, and he's been in the vending business for a very long time. And I came on to partner with him with his business, which was Mountain and Plains Vending, which is still Mountain Plains Vending on his side. But came on, partnered up with him, and kind of blew the business up for him. We went from 1 truck to 3 trucks. I kind of gave the business a face, a web presence, getting us on Google. Advertising with the AdWords and website, and pretty much giving the company identity, so that way we can increase presence, so we can get better customer acquisition. Right. And then from there, it really just blew up, and then of course COVID hit, and then COVID reshifted everything for everybody. Yeah. So
how did it shift it for you?
So wild journey. So from right before COVID, I bought this house. So that was May of 2019. It's pretty much a new build. It was about a few years. It was built a few years before that, 2016. So I bought the house, and then I bought the Bentley. Okay. I bought the house, expensive ass house. Then I bought the fucking expensive ass You know what I'm saying? Which is the worst investment that your cars are the worst investment in life. You want to talk about depreciating, you know what I'm saying, assets. You know, vehicles are one of those. But, you know, it was a Bentley. I had the opportunity to do it. Money was good at the time. I mean, we were at that point, before COVID, we were, you know, about $1 million, you know what I'm saying, in gross revenue. So I was doing okay at that point. So bought the house, bought the Bentley, and then come February, fucking COVID hits. COVID hits. And I'm used to making money every week, turning over to turnkey business. So I never had to really work. You know, savings, there was some, but I wasn't a Charles Schwab. You know what I'm saying, big thinking guy where I was really taking care of my finances the way they should have been, because I could have stacked a lot of bread. I was spending a lot of money. We're Americans. We spend freaking money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, my savings out in the parking lot. Did you see that?
That part. Right. You know, I think I got $20 in my jewelry box somewhere upstairs. You know what I mean? That was savings. So
attention, all laser owners and crafters. Are you tired of spending hours cutting, painting, and assembling laser products? Look no further than Crazy Laser Dad Laser Ready Blanks.
Their high quality blanks are expertly sourced, tested, and ready to use with your lasers. Say goodbye to the hassle and frustration of time-consuming projects and hello to more time creating and selling.
Plus, with their wide selection of items, you'll surely find the perfect blank for all your customers.
So, what are you waiting for? Visit crazylaserdad.com today and take your laser crafting to the next level with their laser-ready blanks.
Hey makers, are you trying to grow your laser business but struggle with things like social media, building local business relationships, setting up your website, how to charge for your products, or when to add employees to your business?
Samita and Anuj Patel are passionate about helping other makers build their laser business and realize that each business owner is at a different stage in their journey. Like many of us, they started with a hobby laser at home but have since grown to a warehouse with 7 lasers, a UV printer, and generate 6 figures in sales and ship out over 5,000 orders a year.
Their one-on-one mentoring sessions are perfect for those who have questions and want answers. The hour-long session will be conducted over Zoom and will be recorded so that you have access to it after as well. No question is off the table, and they will give you actionable steps to take your business to the next level. Book your mentoring call at homeboundcustom.com to start growing your business today.
You know, making the amount of money I was making, it wasn't a problem until it hit, and then in March, obviously everything shut down. And at that point, when we did come back into business, because a lot of businesses were shut down that we had our vending machines at, everything was closed for probably, I think the whole shit was closed for 3 months?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
At least.
So it was a little longer for you guys up there.
Yeah, it was. So I think we finally started able to gain access to more to some of our buildings closer towards the end of the year. And at that point, we decided to go our separate ways. So it was me, my father-in-law, and his nephew that were running all 3 of the trucks. So at that point, you know what I'm saying? So that way he didn't have to pay employment taxes and, you know what I'm saying, all unemployment and things of that nature. We all just went our separate ways. Whatever was on your route was on your truck, you know, you keep. And then that's when I started my business, Top Flight Vending. Top Flight Vending of the world, Craig.
Man, the world needs vending machines, Craig.
Right?
They do. They do. And
they need their chips.
They need their chips, and their chips, they get no dip, but they get the chip. You know what I'm saying? And it was tough bringing, especially because there was a lot of machines that we lost because companies were going under, and then they would come in and demo, and they would take the machines. They wouldn't even contact us and let us know that they were doing that. So we lost a lot of businesses just, from businesses going under, and we lost machines in that. I would say probably about 80 vending machines, which, each machine is, on the low end, 1,500, on the high end, 3,500. So you can imagine the financial impact that was just to lose out on those assets and really have to start over. So on my route, I had a lot of the city of Aurora stuff. So that's what kind of really saved me, like the libraries and the recreational facilities and things of that nature. So that kind of saved me, but I literally had to pull the business out of the ashes. And like you said, and start guerrilla marketing, start going business to business, because it's pretty expensive to be on Google. Unless you have the right keywords, it's very dicey. When you mess with Google, they make all the money and you don't get the correct leads. It's just, everything's just shifted. Everything's flipped upside down on its head. And Like I said, just had to really work my ass off to get the business back to profitability, because there was mornings I would wake up and I'd be like, ain't no point in me going out there collecting $30. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I know I'm looking at machines that, you know, I'm collecting $30 and throwing away $40 worth of product. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah,
so
it's hard
I mean,
to keep the motivation and the hustle going when like that's what's out there waiting for you, and you know, like it really just comes down to like pushing through those times and pushing through, you know, and climbing back out. But like when you're in the thick of that, it's real hard to leave the house for $30.
It is.
You know,
that motivation is like that motivation is not there. Especially when you know, like you said, when you know what's waiting for you. You're throwing away more product than you're depositing. That's and that aspect, that was the toughest part about it. Was just all the waste and and having to the point where you were really be able to solidify a foundation for your family, taking care of your family, to not knowing where money was going to come from. You know, because that's all I knew was vending. I'm a hustler and a hard worker, but working for somebody else is very tough. You know what I mean? Because you have those bosses that are POSs, and they just a lot of these companies just use you, so you have to kind of play the game, use them temporarily. You know what I mean? To kind of get you to where you need to go.
As a stepping stone.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not knocking people that have regular jobs and work the 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? That's the core of our world. But
for some people, you know what I mean? It takes a certain type of person to have that entrepreneurial mindset and be able to work through those hard moments. And something we do miss now that we're both self-employed is that regular paycheck. And a lot of people like that. A lot of people like showing up, getting a decent paycheck every week or every other week, and you work 7 to 4. There's no overtime. There's, like you clock in, you do your thing, you clock out, and as soon as you leave, it's done. That doesn't happen here.
And you don't have to think about it. You don't have to outside of the parameter of what you do, you don't have to do any more most of the time.
Exactly. And that's like something I miss a little bit, especially on like days like today where it was, I was waiting until that text message to come eat, and then I ate, and then I came right back in here, and then it was give kisses goodnight, and then it was right back, and then recording this, and then there's still more after we're done. So
there's
never
it's just, any clocking out and forgetting about it.
No.
You're always thinking of like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? Like it's even when we turn the lights off here, and we go in the living room or we go have dinner. Right. Well, not even your phone, your thoughts. Your thoughts follow you. And it's like, man, how am I gonna, what can I do to generate more business? Like, because it's always on your mind.
Relaxing on the couch for me is never relaxing on the couch.
No.
It's either thinking about what I should be doing or what I need to do when I get back in here, or like stressing about the fact that I should be doing those things rather than relaxing.
And that's always a struggle too, because really dissecting, where your time is going really makes a difference on, how successful you are, or if you're being productive. I mean, like you said, brother, like your thoughts are always with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's very annoying. I don't really sleep that much because I sleep probably about 3 to 4 hours max. And it's kind of broken up in between, you know what I'm saying? An hour here, 2 hours there, and then another 45 to an hour right at the top of the morning. You know what I mean? Just enough time for the rooster to pop me up. But my thoughts are always keeping me up. You know what I'm saying? I need to kind of figure out something to change that up, because I'm pretty productive during that time, and I just sit there watching movies or something. When I wake up, I'm usually journaling or writing some ideas down. But always trying to push the business forward and figure out how you can make more money, or how you can put yourself in a better situation to level up. And that's kind of just the entrepreneurship is some of the hardest shit you can do. It's really it's some humbling shit for real.
Yeah, it's like we were just talking. We had his brother is actually moving kind of out of the country to Puerto Rico, and
that feels like out of the country. Yeah, that feels like out.
Right.
I mean, still territory, but
it's still kind of so he's moving to Puerto Rico, but one of your cousins actually asked us like about like how we like working for ourselves and comparing it to a real job, and besides that structure, I would take that again, it's that certain person.
Right.
But because I would take all the stressors and the annoyances that come with entrepreneurship over having to, like you kind of said in the pre-show before we were recording, but basically working for someone else's dream.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm showing up for you and getting that paycheck every couple weeks, I'm literally helping you pay your mortgage and you, you know,
or their jet fuel, or their jet fuel. You know what I'm saying? Getting them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can't wait for jet fuel.
Me too, bro. Jet fuel would be nice.
It's on my vision wall, flying private.
Yeah,
bro, that's some different levels right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a vibe right there. Like, hey, how's your jet fuel? My jet fuel is good. Well, yeah, let's fly away. Let's fly. Like, yo, could you imagine? I wonder what the cost of a full tank for a private jet liner. It's probably like 15 racks, something crazy like that.
It's a lot. It's a lot because I mean, just charting a private plane. Like I joke. I went online to look, and they have zero prices. They have zero. Prices. They have name, phone number to contact you, and your email, and we'll get back to you. Like there's there's no like quote like, oh, how much is it to go from here to Colorado?
Because
I did, and they contacted me.
Okay.
And I was like, I was just looking. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Just playing that
just
game.
Cause.
Like I can't afford that. Like I know I can't afford it.
Right.
It's like
they was mad as shit. Like, sir, don't you ever waste our time with that inquiry.
Yeah. I'm like, didn't you see the last name? You didn't recognize it, right? So I can't afford it. If you don't recognize the name, you're not going to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
And it was like $15,000.
Yeah.
For us to fly to Colorado.
Which is crazy.
I remember thinking it would be worse because it was 3.5. It was 3,500 to fly Coach Southwest. Right. So
that's crazy.
I mean, like,
right. So you're saying next time we go to Colorado, we should do the private?
I don't
just
know
private it up.
Time, but like sometime.
I mean, if you do a private, it's 15 racks. Just fly me across the world, baby. We're gonna be like Carmen San Diego. Where in the world is Dre Lane? Yeah, I need y'all to take me to here, player. We ain't doing that. Drop one way ticket. We gonna be here for come and hang out with us because we're chilling. Right. You are now held captive. You know what I'm saying? You're now held captive, Captain.
Welcome to the revolution in laser engraving. Introducing Lens Digital, the creators of the game-changing Pyburn rotary attachment. With the Pyburn 4.0, you can turn ordinary cups, tumblers, glasses, and more into extraordinary masterpieces.
Looking to engrave niche items or want the functionality of a Chuck rotary? Look no further than the Pyburn Grip, Lens Digital's Chuck-style rotary. With a range of different sized jaws, you can easily engrave a wide variety of items. All Lens Digital products are compatible with most CO2 and Galvo lasers and were designed specifically for the laser industry. All that, paired with the best-in-class customer support, Lens Digital is your one-stop shop for all of your rotary needs.
Transform your laser engraving game with Lens Digital, where makers succeed. Unleash your creativity today.
And don't forget, we are proud Lens Digital affiliates as well. If you're shopping, code RileyBlack will take $50 off any order of $600 or more.
Hey there, podcast listeners. How great would it feel if this was the year you finally got to escape your 9-to-5 to embrace your lifestyle of creativity and entrepreneurship?
Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Eon Laser USA invites you to join the Freedom to Create webinar, where you'll learn how to make this a reality.
Join leading laser industry professional and brand ambassador Emily, aka That Mom with a Laser, and Eon Laser USA's sales manager Alicia as they dive into all things Eon.
Learn about the advantages of owning an Eon laser and get the scoop on Eon's rewards and partner benefits. Plus, get a glimpse at how everyday people who started out with zero experience paid off their lasers, scaled their businesses, and transformed their lifestyles.
So if you're ready for a lifestyle change, head over to eonlaser.us/whyus and sign up for the Freedom to Create webinar today.
Thanks for listening. Laser on. So you not only manage the vending company and then your own career, but then you also manage your son's career, right?
Yeah, Keith Lane, man. Love that kid to death. 12 years old. He's been grinding since he was 10, and he's already done a lot of big shows already. Opened up for that girl Lele. Nice. He's pretty much almost completed with his first project, which we haven't came up with a name with it yet. Right now, we're pretty much just pumping out singles, but We just had, my family gifted me a super producer, a guy, Jazz Williams. Shout out to you, my guy. He came out, and he's from San Diego, but he flies from city to city, state to state. That's all he does is record, saying the stars. And on GP, he came out. For those that don't know what GP is a good principle. So on GP, he flies out and comes to the studio and works with me and my son. And came out with these phenomenal tracks. In those 4 days we spent in the studio, we came out with 3 solid tracks, one for him. That's and then awesome. two for me. And it was just a phenomenal experience just to work with somebody at that caliber, because he really had a real keen sense and an ear for music. And you could tell he actually loved doing what he does. A lot of people that that do things, they don't do them with passion. They just do them because of circumstance, whether it be finances or monetary gain. But this man was locked in and really did a phenomenal job of working with my son and myself. But yeah, Keith is on his way, man. He's done a lot of interesting things. Him and his little sister, we joined this platform called Society Performers. It's pretty much collective of all the talent from around the world of young and future entertainers. And they did very well out there. They had to do commercials and monologues and things of that nature. Was very proud of what they were able to do. And they actually got picked up by an agency, but unfortunately with us living in Colorado, we miss out on a lot of bulk of the jobs because, you have to be in California in an hour, you know what I mean? And I don't have a private jet yet, you know what I'm saying? Maybe one day where that would make sense, but we physically have to move out to California. So that was kind of one of the things before things kind of took turn for the worst. We'll talk about a little bit later, but we were going to move out there, sell the house and make the sacrifice, move out there. But I was going to wait for 2 years till my oldest graduates. And then once he graduates, goes to college, maybe relocate then. But now we got some other things kind of in the way of that. But, but yeah, Keith is definitely on his way. He got the look. He has the sound. He's just like, he's the spinning image of me, just better looking. You know what I'm saying? So
you guys shooting, getting video right behind the scenes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we just did a music video called Back to Cali for him about a little over a month ago. And like the kid is constantly growing, developing, working on his craft, and couldn't be more proud than him. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely push him to the limit. I'm not like Michael Jackson's dad. What was his name? Joe Jackson.
What was it?
Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson. Yeah, Joe Jackson. I'm not like how Joe Jackson is, but I'm definitely make sure that he's locked in and focused, on his craft.
He was onto something. He helped create Michael. Like, it's just that you got to just stop before it goes.
Find the balance.
Yeah, just before they go crazy.
Just stretch him like a rubber band before you snap. Okay, bring it back.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that had to be. But yeah, Michael's a beast. So all that talent. You know what I'm saying? You can have all the talent in the world, but without the structure and the dedication, you can't really go nowhere.
Motivation too. I mean, I can't imagine the motivation that you and him have to have at 12 years old, because that's one thing that I highly underestimated was the amount of self-motivating that I would have to do to get shit done, because it's easy to be like, oh, okay, I'll do that tomorrow, or I'll do this and this later, or and I swear those are the days that we get a call from daycare and now we got to go pick them up, and it was like, oh, there's your later, just kidding, here's a sick kid, or a kid who won't stop biting his homies at school. So I highly underestimated the amount of oomph that I'd have to do for myself.
That's a good word. Oomph. That's a good word. Oomph, because that's what you need. Oomph. Yeah. To be successful, you must have that oomph, and that's. Right. And I think anybody who's is self-driven, they understand what that oomph means. Because I felt that when you said that. I felt it right here. I felt it right here. Real talk. Oomph. You got to have that oomph, because without that, it like you said, you ain't going nowhere, and you got to take chances on yourself. So. I commend you. I remember when you guys were first, it was a while ago. You guys had the show for a few years now, right?
Yeah. Well, so I think it's 4 years in January. 4 years?
Already?
I think so.
Wow. I remember when you were talking about starting it, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't be more proud of you, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, thank you.
And you guys, having this platform, that's awesome, because it takes balls. to start something from scratch,
It's the one thing that I can say throughout my business and how much it shifted, like COVID, it shifted completely. I did sell a lot of products, but I went from selling products to the actual designs for other laser owners. And then it's also soon after is when you came up with the idea for the podcast. Right. But with the podcast, I'll say it's the one thing that we've been the most consistent with. Yep. And that's what's helped us. There's been a lot of other similar, either crafty or otherwise podcasts, but most of them don't consistently put out an episode.
Right. Well, it's
our
difficult.
episode comes out every single Monday. Yeah. If it might be a couple hours late here and there because we forgot to unlist it on YouTube or forgot to finish uploading it on Friday,
or we weren't able to record on our normal day, so we recorded later.
But 99% of the time, our podcast is out on Fridays for our paid members and Monday for everyone else. Yep. And I honestly think it's that consistency that has gotten us to this point. Right. And just like, when we went to Podfest in January and we found out that we were in like the top 3%.
0.3.
Was it 0.3?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I got to look at it again.
But that's awesome. It's very impressive, but honestly,
that doesn't mean that it doesn't always turn into monetization.
But you just said it as well too, that a lot of people start a podcast,
right,
and they don't. But those are still in the number, like those podcasts that are out there that no longer, like the Keith and John
exist,
show, that no longer record.
The one with your friend.
Yeah, that no longer record.
Right. Yeah.
Those are still counted.
Right. True.
As a podcast that's out there, so it's like 0.3 is like, oh man, you guys are in the 0.3 whatever. Yes, and it is consistency, and it is viewership and all that, but a lot of people start it and find out that there's not a lot of money. There's not as much money as you think there is.
Right.
Yeah.
There because we're part of the problem because we got a set and we got the whole thing.
Right.
So it's like, oh, there's gotta be money in it. Let's start a podcast. And they're like, how do you make the money?
Exactly.
The money part is, we did it literally for free. No, actually not even for free, in the negative, because we bought a couple things. We bought like the mixer or whatever that thing is called,
the recorder, and we bought a laptop.
We bought the laptop. We bought a couple things, so we were actually like in the hole, I'd say, for like 8 months before we even started the paid membership part. So
that's awesome. You've had the oomph to keep going, and that right there. That is.
Listen, a lot of those episodes were against her because she's like they'll understand. I'm like, no. We have to get this out on Friday for our paid members. They're paying us, so I gotta get it out. No, just sit on the couch. I'm like, all right, I'll bring my laptop though, because I gotta work on this. I gotta put this podcast down.
So it wasn't the times I would tell you that we have some time. It was not when it was like just the sit on the couch moments. It's we got home late from that family get together. We'll take care of it tomorrow. But I get it though, because it's easy to allow that once and it to just then become a habit of now it comes out when it comes out, and then you kind of lose that
that fire, that oomph.
Yeah.
You lose that oomph. And it's I think I'm gonna record a song I called that, something like that. That oomph. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if that would hit. I wonder if that would hit the airways. Coming to the airways soon. 107.5.
This is recorded, and we want
we're now in business together now, baby. We are now in business together. This is how that's that grown man business. That's what it's about, man.
If you record it, then I have documentation that this is where it started.
I'm gonna have to do something with it. I'm innovative like that. I find you know what I'm saying, a lot of the things that I come up with, you know what I'm saying, I find motivation in the strangest places. So
same. Yeah. Like I'll be walking through a store, I'll be driving and be like, oh, I think that's laser cut, or oh, that would look really cool if I added some lights to that. Or like it's it's impossible to not keep coming up with ideas. Like I mentioned a little bit in the beginning, I'm working on a course where I teach people how to make signs like this one back here. And I finally had to stop adding ideas because I was never going to finish it.
Yeah.
So I had to be like, okay, this is the core course, and then I can always add more stuff later or expansion packs or whatever. But like the ideas never stop coming, which also again makes it difficult to stay focused, because sometimes it can be easy to be like, ooh, this one's new and shiny over here, but this one has less resistance than this one that's been looking at me for 2 months or whatever. So how you teased a little bit when you were talking about your son's music career, and how there's been lately in the last few years, and then especially in the last few months, how that was changed by a difficult diagnosis. So do you want to talk about that a little bit and how that journey has progressed?
Absolutely. First and foremost, let me say, fuck cancer. Fuck you, cancer. Okay. Let me just say that first and foremost. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching. But I mean, that's exactly what it is. She does. She'd be like, well, can you use a nicer word to describe it?
I think she's right there with you.
Probably is, man. And so, almost 2 years ago now, I was 39 when I was diagnosed with bladder cancer. And it's T1 high grade, and I can't even pronounce the second one. It's like Situate something. I can't pronounce it. But started 2 years ago. And since then, I've went through 3 surgeries where they went in and scraped my bladder and my prostate. So at that point, it spread from my bladder to my prostate. And then I had like 2 BCG treatments where they go into you and put this chemical in your bladder. To try to kill, the tumor that they removed that wasn't well invasive at that point. Once it's well invasive, usually at that point, that's when it's kind of exits out of your bladder. But mine wasn't well invasive. It was kind of sitting on the interior lining of it. So initially, it wasn't supposed to be that serious.
Right.
So let's fast forward. My last surgery was middle of December. And then of last year, and then I had another BCG treatment in March. And let's fast forward a couple months after that. June, I go in to do the scope for them to go in and see, if things are progressing, things are working. Before I do that scope, I went back to Kaiser probably about a week before that appointment. And I was having lower back pain, like severe. Like I was hanging on to it for a while, like for months on end. And wifey finally got sick of it. She's like, "You're going whether you like it or not," because I'm in excruciating pain. I'm literally sleeping like a question mark in the bed, like trying to twist and contort myself into a comfort zone, and it just wasn't happening. So went in and was talking to the doctor. He did a phenomenal job. He was very thorough, and he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and refer you to an MRI." Just to make sure and see, especially with, your
history,
your history of cancer, we just want to see what's what. So went and did the MRI. It was probably about 4 or 5 days before they had called me back. But that 5th day, I was in the studio recording. I've always been waiting for somebody to come on, but hey, I'll invest all this money into you and, I'll fund your project. And then I finally had this opportunity. So this guy, Al Sherman, shout out to you, brother. Used to work with Motown for a number of years. So dude's highly, highly recommended, in the music industry. But literally got done finishing the song Undeniable, which we're going to be releasing here October 5th, because we're going to keep this ball rolling. But I'm sitting on the couch as the engineer is mixing the song before I'm getting ready to leave. And I get a call from the doctor that ordered the MRI. He read off the results to me. And he knew I had, and then the following day I was doing the scope with my urologist. But he was like, well, I just want to give you a call. I do have a little bit of bad news. The MRI shows that you have swollen lymph nodes. And then usually with your history of cancer, that means that the cancer is spread to your lymph nodes. At this point, I'm thinking before all this, I'm feeling great mentally, physically. I'm not even thinking about cancer at all. Cancer probably think about me. I ain't thinking about it.
Right.
So he's like, "With your urologist, we'll go over everything when you can do your scope tomorrow." And he said, "Sorry to give you the news." He said, "But I just wanted to give you a heads up before you go tomorrow." So we go the following day. We go in and do the scope appointment with my urologist. He obviously looked at the MRI. So before I even got there, he was like, it doesn't look good, but let's go in here and let's look at your bladder and your prostate and let's see how everything looks. So the good news is they'll go into the scope. He's like, oh, okay, well, your bladder doesn't look as angry as it normally does. It normally looks like an angry bladder. I'm like, what the fuck does an angry bladder look like? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's an interesting way to describe it. But he's like, yeah, normally you have a pissed off looking bladder, but it actually doesn't look as angry right now. And then he pulls out the camera and starts going to like my prostate area, and then he's like, nah, this isn't good. And he's like, you see all this? This is cancer cells that are forming here. So ultimately, they obviously wanted to remove my bladder and my prostate. That was like the number one goal after all these treatments and everything. But at that point, I was referred to the oncologist because it's next level up at that point. So fast forward, go about a week after that, I met with the oncologist, and that's when he let me know after looking again with him and his team of people who looked at the MRI, looked at everything that I've already been diagnosed with. And it was a long meeting. It was probably long. It was about an hour and a half. He was very thorough. And I'll never forget it. Just how he's talking, and he hasn't told me how bad it was. He was just telling me, "Hey, we're really worried about you because this has spread." And then he's showing me the MRI. He's like, "Normally, they're this big, when they're normal." You know what I'm saying? He said, "But yours is triple the size. That there's like 3 or 4 of them." You know what I'm saying? And you know anything about lymph nodes? They're everywhere in your body. So once it gets into your lymph nodes, it can go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Blood, bone, brain, heart, lungs, anywhere. So at the end towards the end of the meeting, I'm like, and at that point I was at stage 1, you know what I'm saying, in March, you know what I'm saying, in March and June. In March, after my last BCG treatment, I was at stage 1. So from March till July, and I asked him, I was like, well, what stage are we at? We like 2? He's like, no, you're at stage 4 terminal. And, I never, it's I'm a pretty jokey guy a lot of the time.
Very positive and motivating, and Yeah,
and that just kind of like I look at my wife and she's just bawling. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm trying to keep it together, but I'm not at the crying point really at this point. I'm like where's the cameras at? Like I'm thinking like Ashton Kutcher's gonna jump out and be like, you been something. I'm like, God, throw me something. You know what I'm saying? Anything? No, not today. Not gonna answer today. All right. And I just never just sitting there, just stuck in my tracks, just looking at him. He's dead serious. He's like, we're very, very worried about you. And then and they're giving me all the options. They're like, well, we have to start heavy chemo ASAP. From that point, I had to go in and do a CT scan guided needle a biopsy for them to pull out one of the lymph nodes so that way they can test and see exactly what they're working with, so make sure that their plan of action meets the expectations for what I'm going through. I started my chemo about a month and a half ago now. I'm on my second treatment. I just completed this last Wednesday. Technically, this Wednesday I have off, so the second cycle hasn't completed yet. Until I get to the third cycle, obviously, until this week is up. But I'm supposed to already have lost all this hair, and it's starting to dwindle away. Like I'll comb it, and like it'll just start snowing beard. You know what I'm saying, all over the place. So I keep it clean as long as possible. You know what I'm saying, as long as I have it. But it's starting to thin in different areas. So that aspect is, what I'm saying, because most people just shave it all off, eyebrows, everything, just get it out the way. But I'm gonna hold on for dear life, and I'm saying, for hope, you know what I mean, because that's all I got. It's my feng shui. You know what I mean? So don't take my eyes, but not my shirt. You know what I mean? So it's like just dealing with it, man. It's been.
How are you feeling?
I feel amazing, right? I feel good. Honestly, I feel good. It's mind over matter. I have my moments where I'll get tired, you know what I mean? But I combat that because I'm a high energy guy. It's hard. I know this cancer has got to be annoyed as fuck at this point with me because I refuse to conform to the bullshit You know what I'm saying? That a lot of people, come to, unfortunately, because a lot of it is mental. And once the mental is jaded.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, so I don't know if you've read the book, The Secret, but it's kind of like our current obsession right now. And it's the main message of it is that your thoughts are so fucking powerful.
Absolutely.
And if you are already thinking of the worst and planning on the worst, then yes, you have to do, you have to plan for both scenarios, right? But at the same time, you have to push through and have as many of those positive thoughts, as you can, because again, they hold power. So being able to keep your similar or same mindset is one, it's admirable. Honestly, I don't know
I appreciate that.
how you do it. Honestly, I think of your story when since you kind of shared the diagnosis, on social media and Facebook and stuff, there's been days, that have been difficult. I've had issues with my computer. I had to buy a new computer in the middle of, doing this course, and we were having issues with the internet, and we hit max and we had to upgrade and we had to change service. And then when we tried to change service, their techs were on strike. And so it's just all these little things, but minor annoyances when you think about it, you know what I mean? And just thinking of that perspective on days that might be annoying or frustrating or difficult, yes, it doesn't mean that you can't have, your moment to be upset, or it's not like you're not allowed to feel something just because it's not as bad as, someone else is going through. But knowing that, it really just puts things into perspective on, what's important. I shared with you that we also lost a friend from back home to a motorcycle accident. And it shows you that nothing is promised. And even more so, you have to make every day as good as you can,
Facts. Yep. And you got to take chances. And like I said, life is our time on this earth is very short. We look at it for the span of the life expectancy. Let's say I'm 41 right now. Let's say you got 40 more good years, because I plan on being here for a while still, even though they gave me 18 months. That's a crazy number, but I'm not going. I've always said before, I'm not going on their timetables. I'm going on God's, because God knows. I know how I feel, and I know where my intentions are daily, which is making them doing as much and being productive as possible every second of every moment of the day, of each and every day. And it's like I said, every day has its different variables and its differences, but just staying task driven and staying focused is something that I definitely, I hold, saying dear to my heart, because there is no time to wait. There is no time. And like I said, I'm not going to take time or any circumstances for granted, because that's one thing, that's a commodity that people can never buy, back is time. You know what I mean? So,
very true.
So like I said, I'm handling it, like I said, 1 second, 1 moment, 1 step at a time, every day. Like I said, I don't allow myself to dwell or stay in that mind frame of to where I feel like, I'm going to break down and things of that nature. Obviously, I have, I have those moments where, I'm obviously thinking about the family. I'm going to be there when my oldest graduates or my middle kid graduates. I'm going to be there for my daughter when she gets married. I'm going to walk her down the aisle. Those are the moments where I get kind of emotional, just thinking about, planning for a future that's not for certain.
Right.
But just gotta keep just like I'd start all my videos. Ooh, yeah. And just keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it's mind over matter. And before I leave this earth, but that's why I am the way that I am, because I want to be a beacon of hope, for someone that's going through hell. And just let them know that you don't have to dwell. You can smile, you can still have a good time, you can still live the life that you still have. Because for as long as you're able to get up in the morning and you have breath, and God gives you that allows you to open your eyelids, and you have a beating heart, then you have the opportunity to change the narrative of your life or your mood or your circumstances at any moment. So people can't just don't when you get capsized, flip the boat back over and keep rowing.
One of my favorite quotes that I heard probably about a month or two ago was, if you can choose to have a bad day, you can choose to have a good day.
Yeah.
No matter what, you know? So it's, there's going to be days where it's not as easy as the others sometimes. And we're all allowed those moments, even people who are, you know, high energy and positivity like yourself. But yeah, it's just, you're a motivation to so many around you. I had to have you on the podcast so that you could share your story, because I think it's just a huge one. I mean, you immediately, you know, ran into action of, okay, what does this mean? What are we going to do? And just, you're still in the studio, you know, you didn't just give up, you know, you have a family and reasons to fight. And again, I just admire you and your journey, and I'll be here all the way through it. We will.
I really appreciate that too. And you hit on something. I mean, there's power in community. So like me coming out with this was probably one of the biggest like decisions of my life, you know, because I'm a very private person with like even bringing anything to social media that's not positive, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a human being, and there's other human beings that are going through these things. And, you know, and it was hard for me to do it initially. And like I said, I hadn't said nothing about it. I kind of, you know, said I had surgery when I first started, but I didn't like keep posting about it. I kind of left it alone. And then, but when it got worse, when it went to stage 4 and it was terminal and things took a dire turn for where it did. You know, it was like, you know what, why would I wait until, you know what I'm saying, I'm on my deathbed to say something.
Yeah.
To say something, and then it's too late. You know, nobody can help you unless you say so. Like the big reason for coming out is for people to have the strength to be able to come out and say something before it's too late. Because of power in community. My family's been amazing, and the community has been amazing. Channel 4 News has done 2 stories on a situation, and then highlighted my son and his football team, and kind of tied the whole story together and brought the awareness, you know what I'm saying, of just, like I said, persevering over any problem. And that's been amazing. And being on your platform as well has been just as equally as a blessing, you know what I'm saying, to be on here with you guys as well, and allowing me to be able to continue to share the story and share some good vibes with y'all too, because, you know, it's all about the vibe, you know what I'm saying? And like these smiles, you know what I'm saying, they could try to kill you, but they can't kill your spirit. So, yeah, I'm definitely grateful and blessed, you know what I'm saying, to be here. And I appreciate y'all for real.
Of course. So we plan to make you some keychains that you can then sell to your local community, family, friends, to help you pay some bills. Because, I mean, I guess we didn't really touch on this, but how has it changed, obviously, you providing for your family? Because now, you know, you don't feel as well, and there's appointments and there's all this other stuff. Like, how are you managing through that?
It's been crazy because I feel like I might as well just rent a room at Kaiser, because I feel like I'm there literally 3 to 4 times a week.
Right.
Whether it's giving blood work or talking to the pain management team or talking to psychologists, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really, I didn't understand like how intricate it was, you know what I'm saying? The people that are going through cancer battles, or how much, you know what I'm saying, engulfed your life is by it, just by, I feel like I've been poked by a million needles at this point, you know what I'm saying? So they installed the port, you know what I'm saying, in my chest, which is the weirdest thing, because I actually got a lot of funny things. I call it port comedy. That I'm going to be working on it, because, you know, I got to turn everything into a joke, because that's just how I deal with stuff.
That's a coping mechanism.
But like, every time I go to my wife, I'm like, yo, push the button, push the goddamn button. She kind of looks at me like, fucking guy.
Can you leave me there?
Please, I'm not going to, okay, I'll push it. But leave me the hell alone. Now push it again. So I'm always pushing her button, so I'm giving her an opportunity, you know what I mean? But it's been challenging. Like I said, I'm not able to do as many as stops, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, there is some fatigue that comes with the chemo. I highly underestimated chemo because I'm such a high energy, self-driven individual that I don't allow anything to affect me. The first round whooped my ass. I've never felt nothing. I was running 107 temperature. And had to be rushed. We had to rush to the ER, and they were like, "Yo, you were headed towards like being brain dead."
Wow.
And now the chemo is affected and it's starting to affect the body to where my bone marrow doesn't produce white blood cells. So I have to take these injections, which I'm glad I said that because I would have forgot to take the damn injection tonight. Facts, I have to, but that's supposed to kickstart my bone marrow so that way it can start producing those white blood cells so that way I don't get an infection or get sick. And wouldn't you know, everybody in my house right now is sick than a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really
right. Stay away from me.
Back in the COVID days.
Yeah, man, it's weird, man, but like you said, the finances for the medical bills, all the stuff that I'm doing, there's natural remedies I'm doing outside. All this stuff is so expensive. It's been ridiculous. Before getting the bad news of that is went to terminal stage 4. A little bit before that, at the beginning of the calendar year, I was really kicking ass. I was starting to land a lot more accounts. I was momentum was building. And had to stop because like me moving the machines on my own and doing a lot of these things that I'm doing that I used to be able to do. I have to kind of scale back on a lot of that stuff because the chemo affects my body in different ways, and every day is something a little bit different. So the financial hardship has really been tough, because I'm a primary breadwinner. So initially I didn't have insurance when I first started this journey. So that out of pocket was brutal. Luckily I was able to get Medicaid. And that has changed. That has helped out a lot because I've had a lot of surgeries and a lot of procedures since then over the last year or so. And then now leading into this chemo, they want to now, which is funny because the doctor's like, well, we're just trying to buy you a couple extra years. Like, what do you mean? So we go for 18 months, and then we're like, we're just going to keep doing this so we can try to extend your life as long as possible. And, you can't pay attention to what obviously you have to take what they say with a grain of salt. But just the way they go about explaining it, I'm saying, if someone's not really mentally ready for that, it could tear somebody to pieces, you know what I mean? Especially you feel like your clock is ticking, you know what I'm saying? And our clock is already ticking as it is, but I'm just going to continue to enjoy life. And like I said, the community has came through big already. The GoFundMe was made. I think it's almost at 14,000.
That's amazing.
We were shooting for that. We were shooting for 100,000 for the goal. And with that, really right before that part, it was at the point where we were just getting ahead to where we could try to start putting a little bit of money away. And then after this hit, it's like all that's out the window. And I got 3 kids that are always in sports. And so I do as much as I can to keep in the business what I have right now to keep it moving. So luckily I have the help of her and her dad. He'll break off his route, and go fill machines or what needs to be done. But fundraising still not done. We got a lot of events coming up. Shout out to Sparta Combat, Justice Cisneros and his team. They have a big bare knuckle, their first bare knuckle fighting event that they're doing up at the Budweiser Event Center. It's called something else now, but the Budweiser Event Center. It's just their biggest event of the year in November. So they're going to be honoring me and doing a fundraiser around that as well. So like I said, there's a power in community because the help is definitely needed and appreciated. And I can't thank everybody enough, for everything that everyone has done, whether it's prayer or adding to the funds. It's really been a blessing. I can't thank y'all enough.
So definitely, I don't know how the November one is ran, but if we can, make some stuff that you guys can sell while you're there, let's talk offline and figure that out for sure.
That would be awesome.
I'll definitely be reaching out to the community, one with this podcast, but also with some posts and stuff in our groups, and just either people helping to pay for materials so that I can, make stuff and not have to also figure out how to pay for the stuff as well. Or even, people, I can send them the file, and if they have, the right products on hand, then maybe they can make some as well, and just kind of make this like a group effort, It reminds me of when COVID happened. I was a new laser owner, and man, you remember those days when we were making those little
things for the masks?
The mask clips, and it helped the mask, stay on, and
it took the tension off of your ears,
right? Because if you're wearing them all day, it would start to
raw. I'm talking about raw, like slice it and
Who were
dice
they
it.
giving it away to? Was it?
We did.
Was it
First responders,
or nurses.
Mindy would drop them off at the hospitals, but we were just making. I would just open up my poor little laser, my Glowforge at the time, and I'd put in the sheet of acrylic, and I'd just hit start, and over and over again, taking off the masking, getting them prepped. And I mean, people were just literally tossing money at us, and it was almost like, okay, wait, like we can't. My laser is not fast enough for me to actually produce all of them.
That's produce all of them. Yep.
Didn't you make a Colorado COVID?
Oh yes,
pin?
I did make some pins. I forget who those were for, but those were a request.
Right.
Yeah, I made some pins as well. But we'll try and get our army to jump in as well as much as they can, because I feel like the story we all relate, especially as an entrepreneur. This is when being an entrepreneur kind of sucks a little bit, because you don't have that stuff to fall back on, or FMLA, or whatever it is that normal jobs provide.
Would they give you like that leave, that medical leave, or whatever
disability,
that is? Disability. No such thing when you're an entrepreneur. It's like your business can crumble if you don't have the right people around you. Like I said, I've been blessed. Like I said, I have a numerous of people that were willing to drop everything and build machines and do whatever it needs to be done. And that's a huge testament to just being solid. You know what I'm saying, with everybody that you come into contact with. Because you never know when you might need somebody or need something, and you never do it for that anyways. You just do that to be an asset to the community. To the community,
it's a lot
you know what I'm
saying? When you're as nice as you are, just say, you know what I mean. It's a lot easier to be like, oh, okay, I'll hop up, to help where I can. Yeah, it's so true.
And that really, you know what I'm saying. I've gotten emotional, a few times. Just the outpouring of support has been. I mean, I'm telling you, it's been earth rattling for me, and it's made a huge difference in my psyche. Because I'll be honest with you, after they gave me the news, I went to terminal stage 4. I had a couple of Hennessy bottles to the face. You know what I'm saying, for that like a week or two after that. Just to kind of recenter myself. I felt like I was getting ready, and it was kind of funny because I just recorded my first country song this weekend, but I felt that I was in a country thriller, you know what I'm saying, or something, because it was like, I just couldn't believe what was going on, and I'm not even a drinker like that, so it was kind of funny just to kind of go through that process. But anything is possible. I definitely reset my pilot for sure.
We all deal. There's no playbook on how you're supposed to handle that kind of news. You know what I mean? It's just, you do the best with what you can in the moment, and you try again the next day.
It brought me, I had to have a reality check, you know what I'm saying? It's just real, because, even the wife was like, she's like, there were some days I would just be sitting there I would be normal, but then I would like just look off into like the kind of like that, and just be stuck in that mode, just thinking of everything. And like you said, everything just, like you said, the support and everything just really recentered me and brought me back. And obviously my positive and strong mindset, you can go, everybody has a different way of dealing with stuff. And like you said, you just can't stay there. You know what I mean? You can't just, like you said, you can't wallow there. You got to pick yourself up, you know what I'm saying? And keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to not get sucked in and to pull yourself out each day, or hell, each hour sometimes. But each
minute sometimes. Sometimes it's like, because the reality hits you right between your nose, right between your eyes, like right on the top of your nose, like when you get punched, you know what I'm saying? Unexpected, your eyes water, you got that real dumb look on your face, you know what I'm saying? Yes. And it's like, you just gotta, just like, with fighters, you know what I'm saying? You gotta just answer the bell, you know what I'm saying? As long as you're able, Les Brown is one of like one of my favorite inspirations and motivational speakers that I love. I love that guy, man. And he always said, he said, if you fall, land on your back, because if you're looking up, you at least have the fortitude to get up. And Les Brown had cancer as well. So like, in the early stage of my cancer battle, listening to a lot of his testimony has helped. And like you said, man, it's a process that I'm going to be going through for a while. This is something that's never going to go away. The doctor says, but all we could do is just monitor it, and I'll be on chemo for a very long time, all of next year for sure. I get done with 6 cycles in December, and then I'll go in and look and see how things are going, if they're progressing, are they shrinking, is it? I'm manifesting right here on the show right now that it'll be gone, and I'll be in remission. But I will tell you this, what's the story with that little pizzazz that I'm not going anywhere, without making an impact in this world and making a difference and doing my little piece, my part that I can do, to be that beacon of light for somebody. So
for sure.
Yeah.
You are for many.
Look at magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts. And that's why it means magic. It's gone.
Yeah.
Now you see it, now you don't.
Yeah.
And he still looks good. Still looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have. Yeah, I mean, not should have, but
what are you gonna say?
No. At the time when he was diagnosed, that was a death sentence.
Oh,
it was
for sure.
And here we are now. It's just like Chris Rock said. My AIDS acting up.
Right.
It's
true.
He called. They ain't get a cure. They can give you medicine for it.
Right.
And there's a cure for everything too, man. But pharmaceutical companies, there's so much bread. That's a whole nother segment, you know what I'm saying? But there's so much bread that's into medical and into pharmaceutical companies. They make money on keeping people sick. I mean, otherwise, they would go broke. They don't want to completely cure you. So that's why it's important for me to do what's recommended.
Have that balance,
and then have the natural remedies. We got some good stuff that I'm working with Dr. Sevi's son. Working on some other natural remedies and these teas and changing the diet. So it's a complete life changing. Altering.
The other thing too is that all of our diets are, even if we try to be somewhat clean, they're all kind of
dirty
shit,
additives and it's shit they're injecting our food with, and you gotta even. And I say this, that even like the healthiest person that eats salads and runs every day. Right. And with me, with what I'm going through, it's only found in smokers. I don't smoke at all.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And normally it's in older people. I was 39 when I was diagnosed. So I'm asking the doctor, so how is this possible? He's just like, we don't know. We don't know. You don't know. That's very interesting. He said, this is very rare.
So one thing you didn't mention, I guess, initially that I'm curious about was how you found out. Were you not feeling well, or? I was actually out of nowhere, just started urinating pure blood. Ooh, that's okay.
Just pure blood, just red pee. Yeah, that was very immediate cause for concern, because I was like, I know I'm not messing around. So I'm like,
look at the missus little. I'm
looking around. I'm like, all right, but this is, and I'm like, okay. Let me go to the doctor and see what's going on. And initially, they were just like, "Oh yeah, it's a UTI or some other bullshit." And they were like, "Yeah, I wouldn't really worry about it too much." And they did an X-ray and did all this bullshit. And then they came back and they did the CT scan. And even when they did the CT scan initially, the urologist was like, "Oh yeah, Mario, I wasn't really worried about it. I don't think it's nothing. I think it's nothing. Matter of fact, I wouldn't. But let's go in with the camera just to make sure. But I'm pretty sure it's nothing." And then as soon as he went in with the damn camera, he was like, "Oh shit." I'm sorry to tell you, this is not nothing. It's actually something now. Right. I said, well, how do we go from this from it's nothing to you're fucked?
I've been burned before by the I don't think it's anything. 99% sure it's nothing, and then the phone call.
That 1% come over.
Shit.
Well, you fall in that point 0.1%.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it was brutal. So once we did all the testing, and like I said, that was I've never seen nothing like that ever in my life. And I was actually losing a lot of blood because of how much blood I was urinating. It was very weird. It was very weird. Yeah. So, and then, fast forward almost 2 years. Now, it hasn't even been 2 years. It'll be 2 years in December, the end of November. Okay. So, a lot has happened in 2 years, but I'm still here. I'm still here chopping it up with y'all, smile on my face. Yes. And like I said, head up, chest out. And that's all it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? And when it's my time, it's what a ride. What a ride. Because it has been, I've lived my life to the fullest. I've availed myself to as many opportunities as possible. I've pushed the limits, stretched the limits. I've went broke. I've came back, and then so like this is this part of the story where obviously with the help of community, that that financial help has really been beneficial. It really has helped us. Kind of get through some things and catch up on some things, and and hopefully we can reach that goal. God willing, reach that goal of 100K, so we can get ahead.
Hopefully we can help you do that. So
I appreciate you guys.
We'll make sure to include all the links that you have. From what I've noticed in previous, I guess, fundraising efforts, give every option there is, because you never know what one option will appeal to somebody. That if you have a meal train set up, or your website for gear, your GoFundMe, you've sent me a couple of those already, but send me every avenue you got, and then also additional one is I'll figure out a way that they can donate to materials and stuff, so that I can make more keychains and pens for just regular and the upcoming cause as well. So
that'd be awesome. And to add to that cause too, so I have the GMB, which is grown man business. I have the GWB, grown woman business, and the grown kid business, GKB. Ain't no business like grown business. I started that company as a positive lifestyle brand, just with people just doing things with integrity, and with having high quality character. To do a spinoff on that, which I did the GMFs, which is the grown man fight. So it's the same logo, but with the F on the side, F on the B side, and with the bow, and then the color of the ribbon for cancer awareness. Also did that for the women and for kids, grown woman fight and grown kid fight. Nice. I will mention my homegirl Danielle. She's still fighting her cancer battle, which I put on my post today. I went and purchased one of their shirts, to support them. She's still heavily deep into her comeback, and just moved by her story, and as well as this young soldier, this young gladiator, Davion. He's 12. He's 13 years old. 14. I think got diagnosed when he was in 8th grade. And he has surgery this upcoming Sunday. So big ups to his mom, Denham, for, for being strong, and Davion for being strong. And I wish nothing for the best for them. So I created these shirts so that way, I can help in, and whoever purchased those, I can, give them part of the proceeds. So if they go to the website, which is grownbusinessapparel.com, you can go on there. You can buy any of the massive merch that's on there. There's something on there for everything, and especially the cancer awareness shirts that are on there. We'd love you guys' support on going on there and purchasing some of that stuff.
For sure.
Yeah. And what's your social media so people can follow you and hear your message? So
usually I just use Facebook, which is should just be under Dre Lane. And then on Instagram, it's Dre Lane Music. Those are the two ones that and my TikTok, I'm not sure. I'll send you the link to that, but I'm pretty sure that one is Dre Lane as well too. But yeah, you guys Google me, you'll be able to find me. Like I said, the website, grownbusinessapparel.com. And then obviously we have, the other social media handles as well. So if you guys can connect with me on any one of those, I like to converse, with people that come on and like and follow and comment. For sure. I'm not one of those people that just leave people's comments unliked or uncommented. You know what I mean? So I'm making a point, which was very hard initially when I came out with it. Like it was the outpouring of love, and there was so many comments. I was literally having anxiety because I want to give that love back and be able to comment on each one. And my wife's looking at me like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm trying to respond back to everybody and show them the love that they showed me, because that means a lot to me." But yeah, reach out, because like I said, the love is definitely appreciated. And like I said, again, can't thank y'all enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, stay right there. We'll talk a little more offline. And you guys stick around for Life Update coming up next.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Yeah. A little emotional.
A little, yeah.
It's like it was right here the whole time, and I was like, no, because I just knew.
It's hard.
I know if it started, it might be difficult to stop.
No,
so I
it's
was
not.
trying to keep it at bay.
And then you don't want him to get going either. And then like after we finished recording, you know, his son was like right there as well. So I mean, you know, that's a whole other. You know, he was. He told that he was fighting back tears the whole time as well, and I'm sure that because of his son, and you know, it's hard. You want to stay. Strong
stoic
on the outside and just like everything's good, even though if on the inside you're like falling apart and so it's difficult, and you know it's harder when it's, you know, you're 40, I'm 42, and he's 41. He's like right in the middle, and you know, I mean, you guys went to school together and everything. I could have went to school with him.
Right.
I mean, I was in Colorado, but
right. I get what
of
you're
the
saying.
age, it's just hard, and you don't know. I mean, the other thing too is like, you know, you can get hit by a bus or anything can happen.
Well, motorcycle crash.
Or exactly. I didn't even think about that, but
it's just it's hard, and I just. This weekend, you know, with both of them, you know, his news wasn't just new this week. It was new in the last like month or so.
Right.
This voice of mine,
you have water right there. You can drink some water.
I know, but it doesn't. It helps, but it doesn't. It's because of this damn course. I can't stop talking.
Well, because you're talking and it dries out the throat and. Yeah, so you just drink some water and the voice comes back. I had to do it during the show.
But anyway, so see, it's still messed up.
Okay.
Just after, you know, his story in the recent weeks, and then also our friend Lee on Friday, you know, it really derailed me on Friday. I didn't get much.
What was it? Wasn't it Saturday?
Done at all.
Was it Saturday?
What? It was Friday when we
found
out.
Oh, okay. So it's Thursday night.
The boys were at school and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Just flipping through Facebook, and it was crazy because it's like, I remember before dinner I was scrolling through and I saw someone post a picture with him. Didn't think anything of it. Thought it was like, you know what, Flashback Friday or whatever. Just didn't think anything of it. And then another friend changed their profile picture to with him, and it's like, wait a minute, why? Like two in a row. That's a little iffy.
I didn't even see the two. I saw the one.
And then there was and they were the only two that posted, and and then everything else under that was cryptic. It was like, oh, I just saw him. Oh, like I gave him a hug last night before we left.
Right.
And then I'm like, what happened? What happened? And then, you know, it's like you start thinking like, and for me it was hard because I was like, I came into that friend group with him. Because they all went to school together in Colorado, and I kind of like joined in after the fact. But yeah, so there was like no information. Then I went to finally someone that commented their like post was like, I promise not to drink and drive. And now I'm like, oh man, there was an accident.
Yeah.
And like, what happened? And then we found out it was a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
And he didn't make it.
Well, and I don't even know if it was him drinking or whatever, because that guy also said, promise not to text and drive. I promise to.
Right. So I mean, it might have been like a hit and run. I mean, who knows? All we know is that it was a motorcycle accident.
Regardless.
Right. Exactly. So, but in those cases, I mean, who knows if the other driver was, and they might not know, you know, either yet or whatever. Yeah. But it was just sad that he, you know, like thinking of him.
And man, he gave the best.
Yes. And he had a smile that would just light up the room and change your mood. Like if you, as soon as you saw Lee and he gave you that smile, the big old teeth, almost like a Steve-O smile. You know, it's like, okay, everything will be all right.
Right.
Everything will be all right. Yeah. Lee's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was tough.
It's definitely changed the perspective for me on a lot of things. You know, and it's just a reminder on the tough days. You know, we've hit a lot of snags and missed a lot of deadlines, self-imposed deadlines. But you know, with this course,
I mean, you need a new computer in the middle of this whole thing.
That's what I mean.
That's not self-imposed.
Well, no, self-imposed deadlines. is what I'm saying.
Oh,
the
right,
deadlines are deadlines I made for myself.
Right,
so
right.
I'm missing them, but I'm the one who created it.
Right. You're the problem. Right. It's you.
Yes. And so, through all that, there has been, yes, a lot of struggles, and, we had the internet, and we tried to change providers, and, they were on strike, and then, all the things. And
if you have the opportunity to jump on AT&T fiber, man,
we heard it was good.
I didn't know that was.
So he went to go upload the podcast last week, right? And it normally takes him 2 hours.
It usually says
we go to bed.
It usually says like an hour 19, or an hour 24 to upload. I went to upload it after getting the AT&T. It said 5 minutes
to fix the audio.
I went and checked the file to make sure it was the full episode, because I was worried that it was like a short, like a clip, like one of the
one of the shorts of the reels,
the shorts or something, and not the actual episode, because 5 minutes.
Yeah.
When you're used to, I was like, okay, so it's going to be a little bit faster.
Right.
Because we're going from 800 megabytes to a gig.
Right.
So I'm like, it's probably going to be like 45 minutes, maybe 40 minutes.
Yeah, some improvement.
5 minutes. I'm like, I'm uploading the wrong thing. I almost canceled it. I almost canceled it. But no, it's definitely, and then uploading stuff to Dropbox. When I uploaded the things to Dropbox, it went really quick.
Yeah.
Not that it took long.
Right.
No,
but I mean, that was a lot. No, it did. Yeah. It took a long time. There was times where you'd upload something
No, but this was the shorts that I uploaded.
Oh, right.
That didn't normally take that long.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I'm interested to see the core stuff that we've been transferring back and forth. I'm interested to see those
how quickly
upload
it's going. Yeah, because that was the hard part. I would record something on my end, and then I'd send it to him through Dropbox, since so that he could edit or whatever, and then it was taking forever just to even do that back and forth. And what was it?
And I mean, listen, forever was like 10 minutes. It's not like
today we wasted 20 minutes trying to get my scan sheet to print off, and I'm like, see, this is where I lose my day.
There was a job that was stuck.
Little things like that. But like then you put it into perspective, and it's like, I'm here to complain about annoying shit like that. Right. And so
this is what I have to complain about.
Exactly. So it's just remembering him, remembering his story, remembering that, we don't know how long we're going to be here, and just making the best of it. And I really don't know how to end this episode, except for if you have it to help out and donate, either time, if you are able to make some of the cancer keychains, cancer ribbon keychains, I can send you the file. We're going to do some of the light up pens. And also, then I'll, to his GoFundMe. I mean,
even as simple, back to like the Lee thing. If there's someone that you haven't talked to in a while that you like, that keeps like, like, oh man, you know what? I got to call them. I forgot to call them today, or
do it now,
or whatever. Yeah. Call them, send a text. Just, hey, thinking of you. Nothing else. Just, hey, thinking of you or whatever. 'Cause you never know.
Say, I love you often. Like, if you love them, don't make it weird. Don't go to the gas station and be like, I love you, man.
Yeah. I love you, man.
But if you love them, tell them, because you really you never know.
Yeah.
And so you need to make sure and go send that. I'm sorry if this one was a little heavy, but
to end it on not so, not such gloom, because like everything, there's the ups and downs. Manifesting is working. We can't talk about it, but it's working.
It is.
Just know that things are manifesting.
Yeah.
And things are coming. We can't talk about them, but they're coming. Mm-hmm. Things are going to happen soon.
Yeah.
So, and it's not version, it's not 3.0 just yet.
Yeah, no.
That's not yet. But it's
on its way.
There's things coming. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, we're putting it out there, so it's coming.
Yeah. I can feel the difference just in my bank account, in me, in the way I feel in the mornings. Mm-hmm. Like, I definitely don't feel.
You're on like a month and a week.
Five. I think I'm on my 5th week now, which, depending on how far you've made it into here, most mornings I feel like a bus hit me and I don't feel good. And so it's difficult to get up, get, kids off to bed and stuff. And now I'm on 5 week.
School, not to bed. They don't go to bed in the morning.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's late, guys. But I'm on week 5 of 4 days a week, either going to get the groceries or taking the kids to school. So I'm proud of myself because there's been many days where I've had an excuse or two to not go and to not feel good and to break my streak, but I really didn't want to. And those days that I pushed through, I was glad that I did. We all have our moments where, yes, there are days where pushing through it might actually be detrimental. But hey, if I take them to school and I don't feel good, okay, I can go back to, that's what I told myself in those days that I didn't feel good. I'm like, if I really need to, this is 30 minutes.
Right.
I can go take them to school. I can send them off to school and I can come back and I can go to bed if I really need to. So yeah, it's just pushing through when things are tough, and honestly, just taking the kids to school was tough, and I pushed through, and now, it's just part of the whole thing. It's just part of, positive mindset as much as you can, and manifesting and just being a good person.
Yeah.
Trying to be a good person, and it won't hurt.
It
doesn't mean that nothing bad is going to happen, but it can't hurt to just be a good person.
What is it? It's not what happens to you, it's how you react to
yes. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So case in point, Dre.
Oh my gosh. We didn't even mention it on the on the episode. I don't think we might have mentioned it on basically the bonus footage that we're going to give to our patrons. But soon after soon after his diagnosis, he found out he had a leak in the shower upstairs and had now has like a mold problem and all this other stuff, and it's like, come on, you couldn't have given him like a little bit of a break. Right. So he needs your support more than ever. If you have it, I understand many do not.
Even if you just share his story and a GoFundMe, comment, give him your good thoughts when I post about it in the group, and he'll take it all, monetarily or not. So we appreciate you. You guys, the community, are immediately what I thought of when he was going through this, and he was, sharing his story with anyone who would hear it. And I'm like, me, I'll hear it. I'm like, I saw him, basically have an interview with another local Aurora person. I'm pretty sure that person went to our school, but I didn't know them. And I was like, oh my God, yes, I'd like come on ours next. Right.
So anything I can do to share his story, I'll do it.
Yes. And if you have any comments on the new setup, let us know on this episode, not last week's episode.
Yeah, that one was that
one doesn't count because I couldn't get everything to record. So hopefully I got these things to record.
Right.
And it looks a little better.
It does.
But with that said, it's been another great episode of the Riley Black Project. Crystal and John.
Bye.
Maybe we're all done.